The country where I come from, the truth is an irony. Just like animal farm, justice mean inequity. So who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Christian can say silence, Islamic leaders silence, kings and queens silence, traditional leaders silence. So who go say the truth? We are the workers of composite call. Now by area, why no better? We are the workers of composite call. One guy's out here, why no better? Who go say the truth? Who go say the truth? Oh, you need it now, see what I see so. Now your friend on a nine come at them. Only papi obeka na sembia. So I want one, obet you too. Everybody was afraid. And until I learned to my cottage, I get nine. Once my boy dumping one and I cheat. But who go tell the truth? Nanai or say me. Nanso bien person beka wasam because everybody is afraid. Anya safwe muayini. Aku drop on yina dalima. Who go say the truth? Obiaja konson so to grow your mansa to me be a cacobrafo. Efo anyina ye. Efo when you know yet. Na so kutrata down na so be dia back or why no keke. I fene for be man mo pia for efo ne cross on my mo. Anya safwe mo ayini. Akuku drop for you na dalima. And who go say the truth? Abaya di bote chino. Yedi bi bebo nyande bi. Kachi sa udi oma upipi numa. Would your mind never shine my preference? But who go tell the truth? TUC, silence. Even journalists, silence. Oh, then who go say the truth? Right is right. Wrong is wrong, no matter how you justify. You say you wanna get rid of corruption. Someone want to help you, now the person become your target. Jobless, no they mean senseless. Poverty, no they mean useless. One day, then go resist.
Truth and justice, and a very good welcome to all of you. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this evening's program, MyView show, coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV. As usual, my name is Jerome, your host. And gladly, once again, we are coming to you live on Switch by satellite and on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, all on the name Today's Ghana News TV. We are equally live on Han FM 98.7, the bright light of Easton, and as well as King's Radio in Accra. King's Radio can be located or can be found on TuneIn and at the same time, myradio.com. And don't forget, wherever you are, you can equally follow us on Twitter, TikTok, and as well as a podcast on Anchor FM. If you are in the northern region, don't go far from Tatale. You can hear us live on Sakina Information Center, and in Rara, in the Oti region, we are live on Jamframa TV. It is a pleasure to be part and parcel of you this evening and to bring you what is really important that together we will share our views. And what do we have today? What do we set on the table? The 2024 elections is at the corner. Is the National Democratic Congress ready for it? Vis-a-vis the release of a particular publication, a Japadie document. We want to look at it and ask ourselves if the NDC is really ready for election 2024. Once again, it's my pleasure to welcome you. And as you join, do share the links, our social media links, so that many more people can join and be part of this wonderful occasion. Don't forget, we will take your views as the show goes on. So whatever that runs across your mind, do put it up there. And when we come back, I would introduce our guest for this evening's show. Once again, you are most welcome to MyView on Today's Ghana News TV. Today's Ghana News TV is 2 years old, and we continue to give you the very best. Within our 2-year period, we have introduced our newspaper, the Evening Tribune. Tribune, when it comes, tribulation, you should expect it. It comes with all the hardcore news items, and we report it as it is, as you see it, and as you hear it. So do make a date with us. It comes out every Wednesday, so Thursday morning is right up there. Get a copy of it and get more informed. Do get in touch with us, and we have any article, we will do the publication for you.
Hallelujah. Enka osro hine. Ka apostle Stephen Amuakuhu okwantrofo penyi ene kofabaye edema Inner World of God Ministry International ewo biblical truth memenda ediye nimi ene memenda bia abra abo enumre nonso Ghana time yeyi ni life ewo Today Ghana News TV biblical truths power.
Yeah, it must say my show.
Almost $300 million.
So the show has come to stay. Mumye na yesu. Na yen chichire o man. Na wonso oni nipa.
E daddy e Ghana for dia. Enye BP dia. Enye NDC dia. Enye obi bia dia.
Pesa kufa. Because what to niamam na affecting all this. Full prices now what they buy.
Yeah, I just NDC for car for Ghana card. I for Dani the drama nasa.
Mene wo kata ya ye. Ye no nyanse ya te de so e kina titi pa se kina. NDC for wo ba ko fa daddy bill. Which me kai. Me na me kai draw.
Mo pese mo share so a mo ko Facebook, na Instagram, na YouTube, na Twitch, Ghana News TV, Anchor FM.
Yechia Ghana Funeral. My show is your show because a Ghana empty and a show that will be inside my show. And that will be asking.
Wonderful, and welcome back. As I indicated by way of introduction, this is my view show, which is coming to you live and it's every Monday at the same time. Today, we want to look at the 2024 elections. Is the NDC ready? Vis-a-vis the a document that is running around, a Japadie document, and is making rounds since 2016. Is the NDC aware of it? Is the NDC really ready to govern our country? Is the NDC ready to go to a rescue of Ghanaians under this current hardship? We want to examine this. And on the hot seat today is no other person but Dr. Lawrence Osei Appiah. Dr. Appiah happens to be the founder of the Diaspora Progressive Movement, and he is very well vested when it comes to NDC activities and our political discourse. Dr. Appiah, you are most welcome.
Thank you, Jerome. Dr. Jerome, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well by his grace. I hope you too.
Well, I can't complain. I asked you for £100. I haven't received it yet, so I can't complain.
We'll look at it afterwards. Maybe I will send an SOS to Nana Akufo-Addo. He will come to my aid. But no, right now they spend foreign currency.
Then I just have to forget it. If Akufo-Addo has to deliver £100 to me, then I just have to forget it.
Oh my goodness. All right. Before we delve into the main topic today, something just cropped up today as well, because there was an invasion of the studios of UTV a few days ago, and we're told that the police went on a manhunt. They arrested the people, and they were sent to court today. You made a publication to that effect. Fortunately, for the good people of Ghana, I don't know whether it is a good sign. The people were sent to court today. They were sentenced and fined 200 Ghana cedis each. If what is reported is right, 200 Ghana cedis each. Well, I don't want to ask myself whether it is a huge fine to serve as a deterrent to others. But let's look at it. Let's have a feel of your publication. What was your motivation, and what did you write about?
Yeah, I think, Dr. Pan, I also saw 2,000 Ghana cedis. Maybe, I heard 2,000 Ghana cedis fine. So there is that discrepancy, whether it's 200 or 2,000. But
yeah, what happened was that they came out with that 2,400 penalty units.
Okay.
And my Joy Online reported a 2,000, but they have rectified it and they brought it to 200.
So with all this trauma that they went and caused at UTV, they were fined 200 Ghana
200
each.
Ghana cedis each.
You see, this government is not serious. But let me take it from my article, my point of view from the article. You see, when that invasion by the thugs and the hooligans happened at UTV, as usual, the MPP and the government didn't want to take responsibility. So since they didn't want to take responsibility, they have to find a way to shift it onto somebody and let the whole world think that the whole pandemium was caused by that individual, that incident, that craziness was caused by that somebody. And that somebody was A+ because he tore the letter that the MPP wrote to UTV. So because he tore the paper and the people invaded UTV, so it was A+ who caused that invasion. That is what they wanted the whole world, Ghanaians and the whole world, to believe. And so it's not the MPP. Don't blame the MPP. Don't blame those who went there. Don't blame the leadership of the MPP. Blame the person who tore the paper in front of the cameras at the United Showbiz. You see? So, and it was getting a lot of publication and people were understanding them that, yeah, it was somebody who tore the paper. And because the person tore the paper, it infuriated these guys. And then they rushed to UTV and demanded that they should be added to the panelists to also talk the side of the MPP. So I came up with that article to let the people know that there's a proverb which says that the ode ahwedie ba efie no onwa na de in one stand so ba efie, literally meaning the one who brought sugar cane to the house was the one who brought the butterflies. I'm not talking about Alan Martin butterfly. I'm talking about the real butterflies, not the Alan Martin one. And I tried to explain in my article that A+ has been going on that show for a long time, over 1,000 times, and there was not a single day that they saw A+ tearing a paper in front of the camera. The only time they saw A+ tearing the paper was that paper was written to UTV. And some of the reasons was that they should, I mean, the show, instead of it being a show business show, it has now turned and is they have skewed it in favor of the NDC, and that if the panelists were there to insult the MPP, then they also need an equal number of panelists from the MPP to also, come there and insult the NDC, and so many other stupid things that they wrote in that letter. So if the show is insulting MPP, then whoever wrote that letter, I learned is William Yamua, the Director for Finance and Administration. He wrote that because the panelists are insulting MPP, he also wants UTV to reform. That is the word, to reform the show programming so that they will have panelists on the show who would also come and insult the NDC. So William Yamua thinks that the best way to deal with the insults on UTV was to trade insults, between the MPP and NDC. And so he was in favor of insults. They should reform the program so there'll be trading of insults on the show. And I asked at the latter part of my article that, so of all the problems that the country is facing, that the MPP is facing, of all the problems in the country, the only one that is so important to the MPP was the reformation of the United Show Business Programming. Of all the many problems, now look at voter region. Look at what is going. Yeah. Okay, let's assume this thing came before the voter region, but look at how, even in Ashanti, look at how the people are complaining, the traders are complaining, the magazine people are complaining. When you come to Accra, it's the same thing. And the economy is so bad, Kenke is being sold for 5 cedis. So if before in 2016, if you have 5 cedis, you can buy Kenke 1 cedi and buy fish for 4 cedis. And that is a balanced diet. And in the Kenke 1 cedi and fish 4 cedis, you can get the red pepper and you can get the black pepper. So you have a balanced diet right there. Today, under Kufuor in 2023, if you have 5 cedis, you can only buy 1 Kenke. And because you couldn't buy fish, you won't get the black pepper. So you go home with 5 cedis worth of Kenke and only the red pepper. And that is why we call malnutrition, right? You eat, and before you realize you are having koshoko. So I was asking them that of all these problems that we are facing as a country, the only one that they can, think about and think that they have to come up with a solution is the reformation of the programming at United Showbiz. And then, as usual, I played a lot of politics into it and told Ghanaians that if MPP cannot get themselves out of their mess, because they just came out of a mess when they had their Super Delegates Congress. They just came out of that mess. And I'm not saying they have come out and they don't have that mess. That mess is still there, because November 4th will be the big mess. On November 4th, they are going to have the biggest of all the messes. So I'm not meaning that they've come out, but we just saw them when they were having the Super Delegates Conference. We just saw the mess they created for themselves. And they haven't come out of it completely. And now look at the mess they've gotten themselves into again. So the MP, because one man sat down and wrote an article to UTV management to reform the show business, now the whole MPP has turned into a begging political party. They've begged the management of UTV, they've begged the producers of the show business, they've begged the host of the show business, they've begged some panelists of the show business, they've begged Ghanaians. They are going about begging and they haven't even finished begging yet. Because on Saturday, this past Saturday, some of the panelists on the show were also asking to be begged. So they haven't finished begging. So I was asking that if MPP could not get themselves out of the mess they are causing for themselves, why do you, as a Ghanaian who has 5 cedis and can buy kinky for 5 cedis and only red pepper, how do you think these guys can get you out of your mess? Because Dr. Pan, buying kinky for 5 cedis with only red fish is a problem.
Yeah.
It's not something we should take light of.
That
It's
is
a problem. So if you think MPP cannot get themselves out of a problem, why do you, buying kinky for 5 cedis with red pepper, why do you think they can get you out of your mess? It's almost impossible. So I was telling Ghanaians to, make a conscious effort. They should think now, today in 2023, October 2023, they should think of or resolve, they should resolve to vote the MPP out come December 7th, 2024.
They should vote the MPP out and then vote which party in? NDC. Is the NDC ready for the 2024 elections?
Yeah, that zooms us into our main topic. Definitely. You see, NDC has been ready since 2020. NDC has been ready to run the country since 2020. And all indications are that I would say some of the ministers are already on the ground working. Do you understand? Me, I'm a minister, I'm on the ground working. So some of us are on the ground working already. So if you ask me if NDC is ready, yes, NDC is ready for 2024 elections, and NDC is ready to govern the country after January 7, 2025. And like I said, everybody is on the ground trying to make sure that we win the elections in 2024. I would say that the only thing that will happen that will let maybe MPP win the elections in 2024 is if there is a huge miracle. If there is a huge miracle, that will maybe let the MPP win. But this kind of miracles, God don't create them. This kind of miracles, God don't create them. Because it will be so big and it will blow the mind of the people that God will not want that to happen. So 2024, NDC is winning the elections. 2025, NDC will start running the country. And some of us, we have already been on the ground, and we will ensure that the right things are done. NDC or Mahama or whoever it is, the right things are done. And to maybe expand on my answer, look at the candidates who are at the forefront of the MPP presidential elections. Look at the candidates. Dr. Baumia, Honorable Kennedy Japan. Who in his right mind or who in her right mind would vote for any of these to be president? Seriously, I'm an NDC, so definitely I will speak for my party. But look at Kennedy Japan, Honorable Kennedy Japan, and Dr. Baumia, His Excellency, the Vice President. Who is more competent enough to compete with John Mahama? Apart from the fact that John Mahama is way up there between the two, but even between the two, who would you even vote to become the presidential candidate of the MPP? Dr. Baumia and Kennedy Japan. And this is the calculation, I think I wrote about it, why Alan Martin resigned from the MPP, because he did this calculation and saw that maybe between the two, he can slip in and get like 5-6-7% of the votes on December 7, 2024. And if he's able to get 5-6% from the MPP, then the MPP would need him, like they did to the member of parliament right now.
Yeah.
what was his name? The second deputy speaker.
Deputy Speaker Andrew Ose.
Yeah, they insulted him and did also. Nana Akufo-Addo went to what I've forgotten their constituency. Nana Akufo-Addo went there from. Thank you. Nana Akufo-Addo went there and insulted him, raised the candidate for the MPP and said that this is the guy I would want to work with. But the other guy who is independent, we don't know his mind, we don't know what he's doing, we don't know what he's talking about. I cannot even work with him. But at the end of the day, they went pleading with that guy so the guy can, vote with them on parliament matters. So that is what Alan is trying to do. I mean, if it works for him, fine. If it doesn't work for him, but Alan should be aware that the 2024 elections is not going the second round for him to be a power broker. It's going to be a one-third victory, more than 60% for John Dramani Mahama.
Yeah, Dr. Lawrence, you have given a very brief, a detailed introduction as to why the NDC will definitely be the winner in 2024. But there are sources of concern up there. You asked a very, what will I say, sophisticated question. Who in his right mind will go and vote for either Bawumia or Kennedy Agyapong as a presidential candidate to even win the presidential elections on the ticket of the MPP? But let's look at what I'm not sure the MPP is looking at the caliber of the candidate they are bringing. I believe they have other means by which they are sure of breaking the 8, even though there's no 8 for them to break, because it's a different presidential candidate they will be bringing, so there is no 8 for them to break. But they think that they will continue to be in power. There is this document about what is it? Yes, that is making rounds, and the document surfaced before the 2016 election. And a lot of people rubbish that document. But if you go back to the document, you'll find that it has been implemented systematically until now. And that should be a source of concern for the NDC. I do remember in the run-up to the national elections, the National Congress of the NDC, I got some of the candidates on this network, and they all just discounted that document because they are not sure how authentic it is and whatever it is. But they are very sure of its implementation. How to break down, to collapse banks, they saw it. And the worst of it all was how to remove John Boadu as General Secretary. It was right in there, and it came to materialize. Should it not be a source of concern to the NDC?
I mean, it's a concern. I mean, everything is possible in elections.
Yeah.
So it should be a concern. But you see, those things that you've mentioned and the examples that you gave were something that was within the MPP and then the MPP government. You see, when you bring it out of MPP and when you bring it out of government and when you want to subject some of these things to the Ghanaian populace, you might have a different results. Okay. I mean, if it should be all Ghanaians voting for the General Secretary of the MPP, maybe John Boadu would still have been their General Secretary. But because it was limited to the MPP and the MPP government, that's why we are seeing some of these things. But yeah, the Ajapa document is such a document that they, like you said, they are practicing or implementing. Yeah, they are implementing what is in it systematically. They can implement it up to a limit. They can implement it up to a point. And this Ajapa document, I think it came from the Dankwa Institute. And the Dankwa Institute is being run by Gabi Ochredakun, who happens to be the nephew of Nana Akufo-Addo. So, and Nana Akufo-Addo is the president. The finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, is also his brother. You know, what's his name? Bedia Tu is the executive secretary. at the presidency. So you see, I mean, if these people, and of course we have Edward Akufo-Addo, who is the president's brother. So if we have these 5 people, Ken Ofori-Atta, finance minister, Gabi Ochredakun, the inverted commerce prime minister, Nana Akufo-Addo, the president, Nana Bediatu, the executive secretary, and Edward Akufo-Addo, the president's brother. If you have these people in the MPP, I mean, there's nothing that they want to do in the MPP that they cannot do. Okay. There is nothing, absolutely nothing in the MPP that they want to do that they cannot do. Do you see? But then when you subject them to outside MPP, it's a different ball game altogether, because people definitely don't like any of them. People don't like any of them. People don't, maybe apart from the dear two, who is not out there a lot, but he is, working behind the scenes. Gabi Ochredakun is not liked by Ghanaians, but in the MPP, yes, he is calling the shots. So definitely, Nana Akufo-Addo, the president, is not liked by Ghanaians, but at least he is the president in the party. Bomti is the brother of the president, and Ken Ofori-Atta, people don't like Ken Ofori-Atta, but he happens to be the finance minister. You see, so if they want to go outside the MPP, I mean, it's a different ball game, and they can have it tough. But within the MPP and within the MPP government, trust me, they can do anything at all that they want to do. I mean, they have the money. They have the human and capital resources. They have everything. Gabi Ochredakun is now the prime minister who is running the country, and nobody is challenging him. As soon as you challenge him, your job is gone. As soon as you challenge him, they fire you. So that is where we are right now. So within the MPP, yes, they can continue to do what they are doing. But you see, Doc, the more they do this, the more it angers the Ghanaian people. Nana Akufo-Addo's government, anytime they make a move, it angers the Ghanaian people. And that was why Nana Akufo-Addo saw the atmosphere and said that he is not the one to face Ghana's problem. The next leader is more capable of solving Ghana's problem than him. Because he knows that it's over. Within the MPP, they can do whatever they want, but outside the MPP, they are done.
Let me not cut you short. When he said the next leader, was he referring to the next president of the republic or the next leader of the MPP? Because if it is the next leader of the MPP, it makes no difference. Because Dr. Bawumia is his vice president currently and head of economic management team, yet we are not seeing him talk. Is it Honorable Kennedy Agyapong? What could he be?
No, he was referring to the next president. And I believe, I mean, to be fair with the president, I believe in his mind, because he has said it before, that his political career will be ended if he hands over the presidency to another MPP president. So in his mind, I'm sure he was talking about the MPP candidate, but he knows very well that the MPP candidate cannot win. I mean, he knows, unless they try to rake by foul or by any means. Do you understand? But I mean, to the outside world, he was talking about the next president, and he knows the next president is the former president John Dramani Mahama. He knew it. He knew it. Of course, Nana Akufo-Addo cannot say that his party will lose. Even those riffraffs, those hooligans who went to UTV, they even think that MPP will win the next election. Those riffraffs, those hooligans, they even think MPP will win the next election. How much more the president? So definitely you wouldn't want the president to say that my party is going to lose. I'm going to hand over to the next president, who is John Dramani Mahama. If he said that Gabi Ochredakun will do a palace coup and get him out of the Jubilee House. Do you see? So definitely he wouldn't say that, because he knows if he says that a palace coup awaits him. A palace coup is a coup where the government is overthrown and is so peaceful within his own cabinet or whatever, within his own administration. One of them would just get up and say, sign that you are no more the president of Ghana, and that we will just try to protect you by putting you under house arrest. That is a palace school. So he knows that once he commits himself in saying that the NDC will win 2024 elections, a palace school awaits him, and he wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, but you see, Dr. Lawrence, if you look at the MPP's posture, whatever the reaction of Ghanaians simply has no concern for them. And I say this, let me give you just this example. The packing of the Supreme Court with the MPP, known MPP judges is a clear example for all of us. We tried, I don't know, the country made a bit of noise. It has died off. They are in there. We looked at the Electoral Commission. We have known MPP, people who defended MPP on the media front have been there. We heard a lot from the NDC. Eventually, it landed at the Council of State, and they wrote back saying all sorts of things. Those people are in there, and they have even helped to decide that the limited registration should be done at the district offices. The NDC went to court. They gave you a day, 2 weeks after the exercise would have ended. So it has also come to nothing. Is the NDC really a force to reckon with in all these things?
Yeah, Doc. The NDC is a force to reckon with. You see, all these things that the MPP are doing, we will call it a provocative. Do you see? They are provoking the anger of the Ghanaian people because they wished that somebody would take the running of the country from them, and then they will not be held accountable. That is what they wish. So they are provoking the anger of the Ghanaian people. All these examples that you've cited, they are true. And like I said, Ghanaians are watching. Some of these things, there is little you can do. The only thing you can do is to demonstrate. Now, Nana Akufo-Addo's government has decided that he's not going to listen to any demonstration. He's not going to take any demonstration. The petition, he has made his mind that he's not going to take the petition of any demonstrators into effect. Do you see? No. So, what Ghanaians are waiting for is that there will be 7 December 2024, and then they will express their anger. Like the chairman of the NDC said that in 1979, things that caused Rawlings to do a coup, those things are 10 times more this time. Those things that caused Rawlings to do a coup in 1979, most of those things are 10 times today. But still, Ghanaians have had patience with this current administration. So yes, they can pack the Supreme Court. They can do, Dr. Pierre can be the electoral commissioner. Whatever they want to do, let them go ahead and do it. The electoral commissioner has said, okay, we will have limited registration only at the district centers. Fine. NDC and some CSOs went to court. The Chief Justice said she will hear the case 2 weeks after the exercise has come to an end. Fine. They have the machinery to do whatever they want to do. But that I tell you, that is all they can do. That is the limit they can do. And NDC, I hope the leadership of the NDC are taking what do you call it, are realizing what the MPP are doing. Because when NDC comes to power, in terms of certain things, NDC will do the same thing. We have to do the same thing. Nana Akufo-Addo found a way to remove Madam Charlotte Osei, the electoral commissioner. Nana Akufo-Addo found a way to remove the Auditor General, and nobody has talked about it. It means it's good for them. And if Mahama comes, we will do the same thing. We would also remove, of course, the electoral commissioner will resign before we even take over. Mahama is swear, takes the oath of swearing in. The electoral commissioner will leave by herself. The attorney general, Godfred Dame, I mean, his position will end on 7 December 2024. So by all means, Mahama will come and name another attorney general. The office of the special prosecutor might also go. I mean, himself. This is not something that even the government is going to deal with them. They will go by themselves, But the person or the position that I am subscribing that Mahama should touch is the Chief Justice. If Nana Akufo-Addo has removed the electoral commissioner, and it is good. If Nana Akufo-Addo has removed the Auditor General, and it was good, Mahama can also remove the Chief Justice, and it will be good. And we would dare any stupid Ghanaian who will make noise if the Chief Justice is removed. We would dare any stupid Ghanaian to make any noise, because we know how Nana Akufo-Addo removed the electoral commissioner and the auditor general. We know.
Okay. Now, in the case of the electoral commissioner, there was a petition. Are you also going to petition? What are you going to stand on? Because right now we have a lot of issues about.
Now, on the issue of the electoral commissioner, there was a petition, and the petition simply was that she breached some procurement processes. Simple.
Who were the petitioners?
We don't know as of now.
Thank you.
I don't know as of now.
All right.
So I am also in America. I can also be a petitioner, and nobody will know me. And in the case of the Auditor General, he was removed because of his age. Just that. He was going on leave or something, and then
no, they forced him to go on leave.
They forced him.
They forced him to go on accumulated leave.
Yes. And then in the course of him enjoying his leave, he was written to that he shouldn't return to the office. And then they changed all the locks to the office and all that kind of stuff. So we know these are things that the president used to remove people who constitutionally shouldn't be touched in that manner. So if the Chief Justice is there and constitutionally she shouldn't be touched in that manner, we will touch it. We will see, and we will see what you see. The things that MPP has done, and Ghanaians are quiet, especially those chiefs and the religious leaders and all those people. That what Nana Akufo-Addo has done, and they are all quiet. We would expect them to remain quiet if Mahama comes and does the same thing, goes along the same line. I mean, the Chief Justice, we can easily say he broke a procurement law, or we can say she's old, so she should go. And once it has been used before, it can be used again.
But I think I don't know whether the MPP seems to be smart. There was a case in court, or the Supreme Court, concerning the removal of the Auditor General. And eventually, a year or 2 or 3 after he had left office, the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional for the president to have asked him to proceed on the mandatory leave and then to go on his retirement. With such a ruling, how do you come and also ask somebody occupying such an office, Article 71, to also proceed and leave office?
And Doc,
yes, please.
When the Supreme Court ruled that the president unconstitutionally removed the Auditor General, has the president been removed from the office for violating the Constitution?
Not at all.
Why should that be the case? Because as for the position of the president, you can only be removed if you break the law. I mean,
Okay.
that's the only way a president is removed, through impeachment. Do you see? The president is removed through impeachment, and you can only impeach the president if he breaks the law or if he broke the law. The Supreme Court has declared that Nana Akufo-Addo broke the law by removing the Auditor General. Nana Akufo-Addo is still the president of Ghana. Do we have men in the country? Do we have men in the country? So this is what I'm saying, that if we don't have men in the country to call for the impeachment of Nana Akufo-Addo, to call for the resignation of Nana Akufo-Addo, so should they remain women if President Mahama comes into power and begins to remove people like that from offices? Because they should remain women for Mahama to have his way in running the country professionally, not like the one they are doing. So, I mean, you said right that Akufo-Addo did and it was wrong. Why would we want to do it? Where Akufo-Addo did is wrong. Nobody is talking about it because everybody is happy. Everybody is happy with it. So if President Mahama comes and he does it, I know everybody will be happy about it. So this is not something we have to fight over. This is not something we have to even debate. It's not debatable. Because if President Mahama comes and he doesn't reform the judiciary, starting with the Supreme Court and the Chief Justice, some of us would go on demonstration. And it will be a one-man demonstration. It really wouldn't mean that there should be thousands of people demonstrating with me for the message to be carried across. It is just one person, and I'll find a way to get my message across.
I am very sure, Dr. Lawrence, it will not be a one-man demonstration. There will be a lot more people that will go out there to support you. And
Yes.
we'll wait for that time to come. But before I come back to you and then we see what the NDC has to offer Ghanaians, let's take the views from our followers and then we can continue thereafter. So this is my view show coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV. And it's always a pleasure to be part and parcel of your evening on every Monday. We want to take the views from our followers and thereafter we would continue. Kweku Yevu says, good evening, watching from Suhum in the Eastern region. Kweku, we are grateful that you are part of us this evening. Mavis Boateng, award-winning Mavis, he says, watching from Lisbon, Portugal. It's insightful watching and listening to two learned comrades. Mavis, we are grateful that you are part of the show. Patience Darko, good evening, watching from Hamburg, Germany. Greetings, Patience. Ghana Himfie, oh, I love the fire. Dr. Lawrence, more fire, watching from. As for as for this your name, Bonsu or whatever it is, it's always difficult for me in Fantiakwa district. We are grateful that you're part of the show. I'll surely try and get it up as soon as possible. Fans TV, watching from Manche near who, more fire. Oh, Fans TV. Great. We are good that you are part of the show and then you are sharing with many more others. Comrade Umar Dennis, able Vice Chairman of NDC Germany chapter. Good evening, comrades, watching you live from Bielefeld. We are very grateful that you are part of the show, VC. Frema Oye says, Akufo-Addo is a big disappointment to himself and the nation. Wow. Okay. Oh, Jaframa TV, greetings and watching from Rara in the Oti region. We are grateful that through you, many more people are listening and watching us live. Oh, Comrade Omar Dennis is back. My regards to my able doctors, Jerome and Lawrence. We have the real men, unlike the other. NDC has real men. Okay, we shall see. NDC is winning 24 hands down. Seriously? Okay, that is what Dr. Lawrence has given us the assurance, and I hope yours is also clear, and then we see how it goes. Hey, Auntie Florence, you are part and parcel of the show this evening. Florence says, so the total amount is 2,400. And then the penalty unit is 12 Ghana. Okay, so what it means that, okay, a penalty unit is 12 Ghana, and there are 200 penalty units, giving a total of 2,400 Ghana cedis. There are a lot of contradictions about these figures. I don't know what is happening. The same media different media households that attended the same courtroom is giving us different figures. It's unfortunate, but we'll definitely come out of it. MPP at the crossroads. Vice is back again. Romaden says, the earlier we, the NDC, set up, the better it will be for us. Do we need authentication of that book before we act? Seriously? You have to rise up, Vice Chairman. Bob Kimpim says, greetings from Paris, France. Dr. Lawrence is always on fire. My greetings to him. Bob, we're grateful that you are part of the show this evening. Nanata Fremu. Oh, when I hear Nanata Fremu, I know we're coming all the way from the northern region. Akufo-Addo is doing this to Ghanaians because he thinks Ghanaians did not treat his father well. Greetings from Sakina Information Center, Tatale, northern region. We are grateful, Nana, that you are part of the show and help many more people to join our show. Also, Superior says, Dr. Lawrence, please advise President John Mahama, no father for all business. I know he will listen to you, watching from Barcelona, Spain. No father for all business this time around. Okay. Asempahini says, greetings from Achim Himine. We love the show. Asempahini Buache. Oh, Himine. We're grateful that you are part and parcel of our evening. You're back. Don't forget, you are live on Han FM. Yeah, Han FM, the bright light of Eastie, 98.7 FM. We are very sure about that. Thank you very much for taking our feed. So far, so good. Is the NDC ready for Power 2024? Dr. Lawrence is on the seat, and we want to look at Dr. Lawrence, you have formed a diaspora progressive movement. I know you'll be contributing greatly to the success of the NDC. What will NDC offer Ghanaians differently from what we're experiencing?
You see, when people ask me this kind of questions, I just laugh and I say that Kufuor, President John Ajekun Kufuor, when he was coming to power, I think 2008 or so.
2000.
2000. I mean, he didn't have any campaign message. The only thing he told Ghanaians was that
yeah.
I mean, that is all that he was carrying across. Just as Dr. Bawumia is also carrying across, it is possible. That's all he's saying. It is possible. That is his campaign message. It is possible. But you see, President John Ajekun Kufuor message resonated with the Ghanaian people because they saw at that time that Rawlings has, put a lot of pressure and hardship on them. And he didn't need to tell them that if what Rawlings has done to you is good for you, vote for him. If what Rawlings has done for you is not good for you, just vote against the NDC. Just look at your current situation and go and have a wise vote. Or look at the current situation of yourself and go vote wisely. That is all that I'm also saying. I mean, if in 2016, President Nana Akufo-Addo used $1 worth of kinky to make campaign and told you that the one CD worth of kinky, yes, and told you that kinky was very small. So he is coming to give you a better value of the one CD worth of kinky. And you believed in him. And you voted for him based on that. And then he told you that CD, the CD was one CD to 3 CDs, 90 pesos to the dollar at that time. And when he told you the CD was 3 CDs, 90 pesos to the dollar, and he told you the CD was hata, which means it was very, 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 very light. There was no value in the CD. And you were a trader. So going to Abidjan, going to Nigeria, going to Togo, going to Dubai, US, China, UK to bring your goods. And a presidential candidate is telling you that 3 cedis 90 pesos to the dollar was bad. He is coming to make it maybe 2 cedis. He is coming to make it maybe 150 to the dollar for you, so you can have more dollars to go and purchase your stuff from outside the country. And today in 2023, the dollar is almost 12 cedis to the dollar. A kenke, which was 1 cedi, and the guy told you that he was coming to give you a better value for the 1 cedi worth of kenke. And at that time, if you have 5 cedis, like I said, you can buy a kenke 1 cedi and buy fish 4 cedis. And that time, 4 cedis worth of fish was even dinner on its own. 4 cedis worth of fish was dinner on its own. People could eat 3 cedis, 4 cedis worth of fish, and they will not eat anything, and they can sleep with it. This man came and told you that 1 cedi thing was so small, so he's coming to give you a better value. And then now he came, that 5 cedis you had can only buy you kenke, just 1 ball of kenke. You can't buy your fish. And my understanding is that if you cannot buy a fish, you don't get the black pepper, which is called the shito. You don't get the shito. So you buy 5 cedis worth of kenke and you get only the red pepper. You don't get fish, you don't get shito. And you want me, Dr. Lawrence, to come and tell you to vote these people out because they've deceived you in 2016, they deceived you in 2020, and you want me to come and tell you, to convince you to vote these people out, then there's something wrong with you. And I'm talking to the floating voters. I'm not talking to the MPP. Maybe I'm talking to some members of the MPP. I'm talking to some members of the MPP. In 2016, you could, with 5 cedis, you can buy 1 ball of kenke for 1 cedi and buy, 4 cedis worth of fish. In 2023, you are buying the same kenke for 5 cedis. You are not getting any fish. You are not getting the shito, which is the black pepper. And you want me, Dr. Lawrence, to come and tell you what before you can vote these people out? What do you want me to come and tell you? Because they've already deceived you. And you know it is not going to get better, any better with these people. You know, you yourself, you listening to me and you watching me on various media stations or various platforms, you know that this MPP government, so long as they cannot get themselves out of their mess, they can't get you out of your mess. So why would you even think of voting for them to continue with the mess that they are creating for themselves? They are creating the mess for them. They haven't even come to yours. They are creating the mess for themselves. So why do you think I, Dr. Lawrence, should come and convince you that vote these people out because they cannot get you out of your mess? And these are just 2 examples that I have cited, the kenke and the dollar rate. Look at diesel, fuel, petrol. Petrol was 14 cedis a liter.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, 14 cedis to the gallon, sorry. Petrol was 14 cedis to the gallon. Now it is 60 cedis to the gallon. Oh. And you want me, Dr. Lawrence, to come and tell you that the price of fuel has gone up, so vote for Nana Akufo-Addo and his MPP. You want me to come and tell you that? When Kufuor already has given you the signal, Kufuor has already given you the template. Kufuor has already told you what you should do, that look at your present situation and vote wisely. So if you were buying petrol for 14 cedis a gallon and we are now buying it for 60 cedis a gallon, do you need me to come and tell you what? What do you want me to come and tell you? That NDC is coming to make it to 100 cedis before you vote for NDC? Or you want me to tell you that Nana Akufo-Addo and Nana Bawumia would get it up to 100 cedis a gallon before you see that it is real? Don't you see it now? So NDC, when it comes to we have the men, it is actually in NDC. When you talk about we have the men, it is actually in the NDC. We really have the men. We have the men to turn things around. We have the men to make sure that Ghana works again. We have the men to ensure that Ghana works again. These people who are running the country like blind men have failed Ghanaians. And you don't need Dr. Lawrence to come and tell you anything. Look at your current situation and vote wisely on 7th December 2024. And the writings are all over the place that these people, if they cannot get themselves out of their mess, they definitely are not even thinking of you to get you out of your mess. Vote wisely on December 7, 2024. Look at your present situation and go and vote.
Wonderful. Dr. Lawrence, I will give you the opportunity to react on the issue of the educational system. If you want to destroy a nation, destroy its educational system, and that is the best way to go. In the run up to 2020 election, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama promised that they were going to, MDC government would review the free senior high school policy. His Excellency Akufo-Addo, the president, told us that by saying he was going to review it, NDC would cancel it. Today, even before today, you had written an article concerning the traffic light system of this free senior high school. Today, as we speak, one of the conditionalities from the IMF is to review the free senior high education policy. The NDC coming into election 2024, would it be an area of interest to you?
Definitely, Doc, definitely. You see, the MPP, Nana Akufo-Addo's MPP, the current MPP, has been very good at sloganeering. They have been very good at the slogans that they are saying. And of course, one of the slogans of this current Nana Akufo-Addo administration is the free senior higher education. They just came without any policy plan, just implemented it. Just go to school for free. And even I remember Nana Akufo-Addo telling us that the day students would have one hot meal a day.
Yeah.
He didn't even think about it. And the education minister at that time, Matthew, what's his name?
Opoku.
He is another somebody whose brains are not working. They just put the thing there and says, let's implement it. And they started to implement it. Now, do you see that the free senior education has just become a slogan?
Yeah.
It has become a slogan because it is not functioning. Right now, as I speak to you, they don't know when the next children are going to school. And they don't know when the next children are coming home. So one day they will just sit down and then give the parents 2 weeks to send their children to school. They will just give them 2 weeks, prepare and go to school. And then when they go to school, they stay in school for 1 month, 1.5 months, and then they are asked to come back home. And they stay home for 3 months. And if you are a responsible parent like I am, what you do is that you look for a teacher, pay the teacher to teach your child. And if you have 2 or 3 children, to teach your children at home at your own cost. The government does not subsidize that. So what they are interested in is the sloganeering. Let's slogan it. Free senior education. Oh, my President Akufo-Addo brought free senior education without the thinking going into it. And I have said it before that if NDC comes to power, they say Nana Akufo-Addo bring free senior education. So it is going to be like free senior education is going to be attached to the name of Nana Akufo-Addo. like Kufuor came and said free maternity care or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
But I tell my people, those that I go to radio and TV and argue, I tell them that you are here and thinking that free senior education is going to be attached to Nana Akufo-Addo's name. So it's going to stick forever. As soon as you mention free senior education, every child will say Nana Akufo-Addo brought it. But I told them that when NDC comes to power, we are going to review the free senior education to the extent that you will not even know that Nana Akufo-Addo was the one whose name you want to attach to it. Because it will be so beautiful. Attaching Nana Akufo-Addo's name to free senior education will be suicidal. It's like you are committing suicide, because it will be so beautiful. And I know this is why I was saying that some of the ministers are already in place. I know Professor Opokuna Najimai is going to be in charge of education, whether she is appointed, nominated as the flag and the vice president, or whatever the role that he will be assigned to play. One of her roles will be reviewing and reforming the free senior higher education. And maybe we'll take the free out and do it senior higher education like we already have it. Because the free component of it might not be there in clear terms. And of course, this time the free aspect of it is not there, but well, they have attached the free to the senior higher education, so we would just still call it free senior education. But the free is not there. Like I said, if your child is coming to stay home, for 3 months, and you are a reasonable, responsible parent like I do, and you want to hire a teacher to teach your children or your child, where is the free? Where is the free? But in this case, it is outside the school, what do they call it? Semester.
Yeah.
Outside the school semester. So you will not see the expenses coming from the Ministry of Education or Ghana Education Service. But when NDC comes, we will make it in such a way that you paying the fees will be borne. That fees you are paying to hire your teacher to teach your children or your child, the Ghana Education Service or the Ministry of Education will bear that cost. So that aspect of free would even not be there. And we will make it so nice and beautiful, so neat, that associating Akufo-Addo's name to that system of education will make you look crazy, will make you look mad. Will let whoever you are holding that meeting for, will let you, though wherever you are at the studio debating education, when you say Nana Akufo-Addo brought free senior education, I mean, anybody listening to you and watching you will know that you are not upright. You need some re-examination on your mind.
Dr. Lawrence, I am going to give you the opportunity to react to an issue. But before then, we have NDC Diaspora Union. They say that this is the kind of program we need at this time. The anger in the system is too much, but it seems the NDC is a bit relaxed and comfortable. It's a bit relaxed and comfortable.
Yeah, you see, like I said, MPP Nana Akufo-Addo, they are provoking the anger of the Ghanaian people. So somebody will take over the running of the country so they can run away to UK. That is what they are doing. So if you are not careful and you fall into their trap, there will be that consequence of a chaos country. Nana Akufo-Addo or the United Nations or somebody will declare a state of emergency in the country, and we can't even hold elections on December 7, 2024. I can see this as their plan. Maybe it's hidden somewhere in the Ajapa document. That getting to 2024, let us provoke the anger of the Ghanaian people. Let them make things crazy for everybody in the country. Let the president declare a state of emergency so there cannot be any elections. So we either leave the country within that time frame, or somebody will take over the country, either through a palace coup or through a real coup, and then we are out. I mean, we know the person, so the person will give us the opportunity. The person will give us the opportunity to run away. After all, we didn't see them. And theirs is not to jail Nana Akufo-Addo and Gabriel Chidakwa and the rest. Theirs is just to take over the running of the country so they can call themselves head of states, or they can call themselves presidents, or maybe they will give Ghanaians 6 months to do a campaign and run again for elections, and they will stand for elections. And then once they stand for elections, chances are that they win the elections because they would have won the hearts and minds of the Ghanaian people. By that time, Nana Akufo-Addo, Gabriel Chidakwa, Ken Ofori-Atta, Bomti, all of them have run away to UK.
Yeah.
So let us look at it from that angle too, and not think that NDC is relaxed or NDC is more relaxed. Our hope and our faith and our everything is with the Ghanaian thumb. I mean, if that fails us, then that's it. But that is all where our hope is.
Yeah.
Our hope lies with the Ghanaian thumb. If the thumb says that go vote for NDC, December 7, 2024, they are going to vote for NDC. If we fail, it is not we who have failed. Ghanaians have failed themselves by voting again for the NPP. But that is all we can do. If we want to practice democracy, we have to practice democracy. And democracy says that wait, just do your campaign, just bash the government, just offer alternative solutions, and wait for the next elections. So that is all NDC can do. But if we, because if you remember, when the Occupy BOG, Bank of Ghana demonstrators, when they were going to seek the police, when they went and informed the police about their demonstration, one of the reasons the police gave them for not allowing that date for them to have demonstration is that it can cause a coup d'etat. Their routing or their demonstration or whatever they are going to do can cause coup d'etat. I mean, this is from the intelligent community. This is not from me. This is from the intelligent community. And if the intelligent community has known that doing chaos, set chaos in the country can cause coup d'etat, then we have to be careful. I like the demonstrations that they are going on. I like it. It's making the country hot. I mean, that's fine. At least it is not NDC, it's some other groups, Arise Ghana Youth, Arise Ghana, and other civil society groups. They are doing these demonstrations. It's okay. I mean, once a while, NDC can come in like they did for Occupy Bank of Ghana. I mean, it was an NDC project. So once a while, NDC can do it. We can do that until, December 2024. And of course, Kennedy Japan is helping the cause with his showdown rallies. You know, I mean, last weekend he was in Sekendi. I think next weekend he's going to one of the neighboring towns in Sekendi. And he already did one in Accra, and he did one in Kumasi. So these are all part of the activities that makes the country hot. But of course, Nana Akufo-Addo is not even looking at it. And the people around him are not even showing him pictures and videos of such events. So he doesn't know. I can tell you on authority that Nana Akufo-Addo doesn't know that Kennedy Japan has held a rally in Accra and has held one in Kumasi. He doesn't know, because those around him will not let him know. Because if they let him know, already Nana Akufo-Addo is old and he's in a panic mood. So if they make him know that Kennedy Japan is doing these rallies in Accra and Kumasi, the panic will be so more that he cannot even think anymore. So they are not showing it to him, and that's fine. They should not even let him know, because he needs a normal brains. He needs to calm down to run the country, to give decisions or to make decisions. Like our chairman, Kennedy and Asiedu Nketia said one day that Ghana needs to form a medical board to examine the brains of Nana Akufo-Addo to see if he is still fit to be the president of the Republic of Ghana, to see if he is still fit to be the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And when Ashedun Ketia said this, everybody was laughing. But it is a fact. It is true. Once a while, Biden, for instance, once a while, they go and examine his everything to make sure if he is still fit to be the, because Biden can give a command, one command, and there will be a war between America and Russia. And there will be a war between America and China. And you know, when America starts such a fight, it's not going to end anytime soon. So they examine Biden, Joe Biden, every time to make sure that, I mean, when he goes to on public listening and you see him stammering or saying certain things, I mean, it's just one of the things. But they have really examined him to make sure that he is still fit to be the commander-in-chief. And that is what General Ashedun Ketia is calling on Ghanaians to do, or is calling on Ghana to do. That once a while we should examine Akufo-Addo thoroughly to make sure that he is still fit to be the commander-in-chief. They are joking with it, but before you realize, he has just said something, he has ordered something, and the whole country will be in turmoil. So NDC is not relaxed. Let us just give them the rope to do all the announcements that they are doing. Just make sure you sell your message, you sell your candidate, and make sure that you tell the people that if you don't have any message at all, they should just look at their current situation and go and vote wisely on December 7, 2024. We in the NDC, we are the government in waiting. So we don't want to do anything chaotic where it will give Akufo-Addo the opportunity to declare a state of emergency and then ask UN to come in, ask United States to come in, ask UK to come in, ask Germany to come in. And before we realize we can't hold elections on December 7, 2024, we have to find a new date to hold that elections, and that will still keep them in power, or that will bring somebody who is closer to them to power, and then the person will just allow them to leave the country and go elsewhere and celebrate their booty. We don't want that. We have to be tactical in these issues, or we have to be tactical in some of these issues.
Okay, we have to be tactical. All too soon, our time is fast spent. But I would have asked a comment or two from you, especially with Mr. Showdown. Mr. Showdown has already told us that government functionaries are looting the country and stuffing the money in abroad. He has told us that should MPP lose the election, he will lead the NDC to retrieve state lands from MPP functionaries. And if this had happened during an NDC government, by now, the MPP would have been holding series of press conferences and making all the noise because they have more control of most of the media outlets. The NDC, I don't know. Are you aware of these things? Are you taking notes on these things? And will NDC government be able to act on them?
Well, somebody, excuse me. Somebody, one of the testers wrote that I should tell President Mahama not to be what do you call
Father
it?
for all.
Father for all. And I'm very sure that I'm not the only one saying that, or he is not the only one saying that. You know, this man, lawyer Ejudi Tamakulu, right? Yeah, that guy, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that he might be a minister in Mahama's government. And he's seriously against, I am on several platforms with him, he's seriously against this father for all thing, you know. So and he is the lead legal brain in the NDC right now. I mean, he's the director of legal
affairs.
Yeah. So if he's the director of legal affairs in the NDC currently, and he's against this father for all thing, I'm pretty much sure even if NDC comes to power and he is not given a ministerial position, he will still have a voice in the NDC. and for that matter, he would not what do you call it, entertain certain things. Now, so the question is if NDC will be able to do that. Well, in this case, it is the showdown man and Kennedy Japan who is saying he will help the NDC to do it. So if you saw that one, he has apologized to President Mahama. Yes. For all the nonsense that he said about President Mahama. And the other day at the wedding, you saw how he went and hugged Ibrahim Mahama.
Yeah.
The person that he said if the government doesn't jail him within 7 days, he's going to drink poison. And so you see, Kennedy Japan is gradually coming home. He's gradually coming home, and I like that. I mean, that is how politics and that is how democracy is all about. When you find your faults or when you see that you did something that was wrong, you just apologize. I mean, President Kufuor apologized. President Atamils also apologized. So if you see something that you think is not right, you say something against it, you can apologize. So Mahama coming back in 2024 is not going to be. I mean, President John Dramani Mahama coming back in 2025 is not going to be business as usual. And President Mahama knows very well that he has only 4 years to get NDC back to office after 2028. He knows that. I am not the one telling him. He knows he has only 4 years to do whatever it takes to win the hearts and minds of the Ghanaian people, so that when he is leaving power in 2028, he will hand over to another NDC president. He knows that. And it is something that I believe he would want to pride his record with. It is something I know he would want to pride his record with, that he was the only, or he has been the only president so far who has handed power from an NDC or MPP to another NDC or MPP. So I am not going to tell him what he should come and do and what he should not come and do. He knows that the anger in the Ghanaian populace is big. He knows that Ghanaians are very angry with this MPP. And so he should come and not do any father for all. Because if he comes and do father for all, it is not only the MPP who are going to go against him, but it is the NDC who will go against him. And he is our last hope. President John Dramani Mahama is the last hope for the NDC to be an NDC political party. If he fails us, if he loses his grip on the presidency, and NDC goes back to opposition in 2028, that might be the end of NDC. Because then the MPP will come and do even worse than what they are doing now. And they would think because they did worse and Ghanaians have voted, because they did these things to us between 2016 and 2020, and Ghanaians have voted them to power just after 4 years, then they would do even worse. They would do crazy things. And we can't say anything because at that time, NDC will be no more. So President Mahama knows that he's our last hope. He's the whole Ghana, he's our last hope to make Ghana work again. So I'm not going to tell him what he needs to do. Sometimes some of these things can go off the mind of some of these people because they have bigger things to think about. But when some of us meet him, we tell him what the grassroots are saying. And I'm happy that the person has come up with this. So, and I'm sure a lot of people are watching us. So when they hear this question as to whether NDC is coming back to power to do father for all, or NDC is coming back to that power and not be able to take hold of the Ghanaian people, to get the Ghanaians know that NDC is in power, but that NDC in power, but MPP is ruling, well, then that would be the end of it. But I doubt if President Mahama would fail Ghanaians. Because
the ball is on the court of President Mahama.
He's coming back. President Mahama is coming back, and it's not going to be business as usual because he knows he has only 4 years to get the country back in its right place.
Wonderful. All too soon, our time is up, Dr. Lawrence, and I'm pretty sure.
Let's go 1.5 hours more. I can. I'm not tired. I can.
Yeah, fortunately, because of the time speed duration, that is the issue. But I know we'll need more time. We'll have to get you more often. It's just that your busy schedules are always the issue. But we'll get you more often, running up to the end of the year. Especially, we'll have a discussion about the 4th November showdown before the showdown itself comes
Oh,
up.
please, let's have it.
Sure, we will fix it up. So say thank you very much for making time for us today. And we're looking forward to, I don't know if you have any publication coming out, whether you want to give us hints.
Oh, yes. I have a publication coming up next week. And the title of that publication is MPP a True Democratic Party? And it talks about all the problems and assaults and issues the hooligans and Delta Force and all those people have done over the years between 2017 up until now, and currently what the hooligans went and did at the UTV, and why an MPP called Dr. Ernest Addison will call demonstrators as hooligans. You know, if you're an MPP and you know Nana Akufo-Addo did as many demonstrations as possible, and members of parliament are doing demonstration, and you can't use a better word for them but to call them hooligans, then I have every right to question whether the party that you belong is actually a true democratic party.
Wonderful. That would be a great publication, and I'm sure all the NDC communicators out there should get hold of it when it is published, and then they will have a lot of speaking notes out of it. Thank you very much once again for joining us this evening, and we look forward to having more interactions with you.
Yeah, Dr. Jerome, I just want to thank you very much. And from what you have been saying so far, you've been reading my articles. At least you see them and you read some parts of it, maybe not all of it, but you read some parts of it, which is very good. I thank you for being a fan, and I still look forward to the £100 that you promised me.
It will surely come. It will surely come. Okay, that has been the show, My View, coming to you live on today's Ghana News TV. And it's always a pleasure to be with you and to start the week on a wonderful note like this. For joining us, we are very grateful, and do remain faithful and truthful to us, and we will always come your way with wonderful shows. Until we come your way next week, I wish you the blessed night wherever you are, and have a wonderful week. Good evening to you all.
Mampam osontie so dogo vinwa bem mampam osontie nani amuka nyina guna swati move swara mampam osontie move swara mampam osontie